What is up, guys? Media Master Menard here today, and I'm bringing you guys another video. And today we're going to be talking about if old school games with classic mechanics are really better, or is nostalgia kind of giving us rose tinted glasses? I've seen a lot of people on YouTube lately complaining about games that are being currently made, saying that they're too complicated and they have too many intricacies, and that they are longing for games of the golden age, so-called, of gaming that are simpler, more retro-styled games. So as you can see, I took it upon myself to do a little research and look into this myself. Right now I'm playing some Sonic Mania on the screen. I've had it for a while, but I decided to revisit it after already beating it twice. I also looked into some of the classic games that are included in the Nintendo Switch online service, and also I looked at newer school games, and I didn't necessarily play any newer school games because I play those all the time, but I analyzed them further and actually sat down and thought about what I think about those games and how they play and how they were made. So what's the answer? Is nostalgia skewing our vision and what makes us think a game is good? Well, the answer, as usual, is a little more complicated than it may first seem. So games make slow improvements over time, and you can't really notice these as a gamer because they are happening so slowly and so gradually. It's almost like how you can't tell the difference of looking at another human being day by day, but if you look at a picture of them from even a couple years ago, they look entirely different. So this is happening with gaming as well. If you go back and play some of the retro games, you can really tell how much these games have changed and the gaming industry as a whole has changed. The thing that stood out to me the most was the polish in games back in the day really isn't anything comparable to what we are able to see in video games today. Simplistic level design and good game mechanics, however, have stood the test of time. Think about games like Mario or Dragon Quest, which have strayed very little from their roots, yet they've remained wildly successful. So no, nostalgia isn't clouding our judgment on these older games. A lot of them are fantastic games, but that doesn't mean nostalgia isn't clouding our judgment on current games versus these past games. And what I mean by that is a lot of people aren't even giving new games that come out a chance because they're so in love with the idea of retro gaming. And indie titles have somewhat helped this cause, but it still doesn't change the fact that a lot of people write off newer looking games with good graphics as complicated and complex. However, there are a ton of games coming out that keep these simple design philosophies and mechanics and update them and polish them with modern graphics. I mean, look at Sonic Mania, what I have in the background right now. It's a great example of a newly created game that uses old game mechanics, and it's just so fun because gameplay is king. Another example that comes to mind for me is Rocket League. That game has great mechanics, but they are simple and clear-cut and easy for the gamer to understand, and it is just a blast. And a lot of these games can sometimes be overlooked because there is no nostalgia associated with them yet. And I think it's very sad that this happens to some of these games and they don't get the recognition that they deserve. I do understand that there are contradictions to some of the points I made in this video. I mean, staying in the Sonic franchise, for example, I recently went back about a year ago and played Sonic Adventure 2 again, and let me tell you, that game does not hold up to what it was in my head and all of the praise it universally receives. It just isn't a good game by today's standards, and I promise you, don't go back and play that game because it will ruin the memories you have of that game. Basically, the point of my video is you shouldn't let nostalgia cloud your judgment when you are looking at current games in the industry, and you shouldn't be looking back like, oh, we were in the golden age back then. Yes, those games are fantastic games, but there are still a ton of great games coming out right now. You might have to look a little harder to find what you specifically are looking for, but there is a game out there for everybody. Nostalgia isn't the worst thing in the world, and everybody loves to have rose-tinted glasses every once in a while and look back fondly on something that they had a great time with, but we need to remember to keep our emotions in check. Current games that are complicated and complex have kept the industry moving forward and keeps your mind sharp, and I really believe a lot of these experiences deliver something that you couldn't get back in the day, and I like to experience everything I can with gaming and the art form that it is. I want to hear what you guys think about old school games now. Do you guys think they are as good as advertised or as you remembered them? Are they a little overhyped? And what do you think about nostalgia and the way it affects the way we remember video game experiences? Let me know the answer to all those questions down in the comments below. If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be bringing you guys more movies, TV, video game, and anime topics. I'm going to leave a link to my Twitter down in the description below so you can find out when I post a new video. And until then, this is Master Menard, signing off.